Well, as always, I have a letter from one of you out there, and this time this letter is coming from a friend called Ben in Dansoman. He says, "Hi, Nii Kpakpo. One question has been on my mind for a very long time. Why do men usually end up with the women they didn't have in mind to end up with?" Wow. Well, Ben, the perception or the thinking of having a certain kind of woman, or even for the women on the flip side for that matter, and even for the women on the flip side, their perception of having a certain kind of man or ending up with a certain kind of man, is influenced by a myriad of things. Growing up, you think certain things. When you start life, then you see certain things and experience certain things. Then you realize that, you either have to change your mind or stick to what you had. If your financial situation actually determines who you end up with. If your finances are going to the right side, you actually have a certain crop of friends, and you associate with some people and go to certain places. So the kind of woman you would end up with is likely or more likely to come from those circles. But if your finances are not too good, you either sit at home or you walk in your area. You walk up when your area girl end up, because that's where you hang out. Okay, your environment also determines. And then some people, do certain things that are adventurous. So your adventurous life may end you up with somebody that you hadn't thought about ending up with. As in, for example, if you unfortunately impregnate a woman, you end up having to live with her, Sometimes, I'm not saying definitely. So you have a woman, you have a child with her, and you're like, okay, well, if I already have a child with her, why don't I stay with her? You understand what I'm saying? And then also, meeting people. You may meet certain people who change your life or your perception of things. You're like, so this kind of person too is around. I've been always thinking about ending up with, a slender chick with, size 12, 35, and 24 around this. But then you meet somebody who is also plus size, but the person is really hale and hearty, and the person brings out the good in you. Then you're like, plus size people too are not bad. And as always, we say a big thank you to Alisa Hotels Group for partnering us to bring you Nii Kpakpo Unplugged. And if you're thinking of business, dining, or events, whatever, think Alisa, because they have the exclusive experience for you. It's made up of Swiss Spirits Alisa, Alisa Northridge, and Alisa Laboni. Think Alisa Group of Hotels for your next event. Log on to alisahotels.com and you'll be glad you did. All right, this is Nii Kpakpo Unplugged, and I have in the house a lady. She's a very, very special lady. This is by virtue of the fact that she's a special person to some people. She's actually opened the lives of people to something new, and she's giving them a new horizon that they never thought they would ever have. Not even their parents were able to give them that kind of opportunity. I'm talking about Lila McQueen Djaba, and she's the founder of Lila's Childcare Foundation. And this foundation has actually changed the lives of so many children. And for the past 15 years, she's been on this trail. Lila, you're welcome to Nii Kpakpo Unplugged.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here. I'm actually honored to be having this conversation with you now.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show.
Because you're a big woman.
Really?
Yes, you're a very, very big woman. Look, for the past 15 years, you've been running Lila's Childcare Foundation. How has it been so far?
It's been good. It's been challenging.
Yeah.
It's given me more ideas.
Okay.
More fulfillment.
Right.
And all that.
Yes. You started this thing like with nothing.
The nothing, yes.
What was your motivation?
Well, I guess You know, my mom is an educator. So when we were young, she was a teacher at Morning Star. So we had some of the children come into our house.
Okay.
You know, they come, they stay with us, and then sometimes they go home during the week. So we stay with them, we play. Some of them were my age mates, some of them were younger, so you take care of them. But then when I went through school, I finished senior high school, I was thinking of what to do with my life. Right. And at that time, it took a long time before you even go back to school.
Yeah.
So then I said, what do I do?
Okay.
Then the Liberians had come as refugees at Budumburam.
Okay.
And we lived in Malam.
Okay.
So then someone took me there. I went to see them. I saw the children. And then I was like, okay, these children are here. They're not doing anything. So I go there, visit them, and then teach them, sometimes play with them, and then I come home. So anytime my parents gave me money, I just do that. And I did that for about some months. Met a guy there. He said he had siblings in a foster home. I said, okay, I wanted to go see them.
Right.
So I went to see them. And the place was almost close enough. It was at Tabora.
Okay.
It was a foster home close enough. So I was like, okay, can I stay here and be with the children? And they were like, okay, if you want to, I can. I said I wanted to volunteer. So I went home. My mom had gone to school. So I packed my things, wrote a note, I'm going somewhere, I'll be back. You know, so I packed some of my things and I left.
Yeah.
So I stayed there, come home like once a week, come and take rice, oil, stuff.
Come and take the things from home and go and give it to the kids.
And give it to the kids.
That's like kind of a life of a rebel, isn't it?
In a way, yes, it was. And then I write a note, I'm still alive, I'm somewhere. So I did it for a while. And then when I come home, I notice that sometimes there's money there for me.
Okay.
So I just take it and then write a note and I'll go back. So I did it for like 6 months. And then my mom and my sister, I came home once, they were home. They were like, where have you been? We noticed that you come and go and we know you're okay. And I said, well, I'm in a foster home, taking care of some children. She was like, okay, well, let's go and see. Right. So I took them to where I was. And they're like, is this what you want to do? I was like, yes. So I stayed there for a year as a volunteer.
Okay.
And then from there, I left to Street Academy. It's behind the Arts Center.
Okay.
So I volunteered there for almost a year and then teaching. So when they give me money, I just go there to teach for free and I come back home.
You taught for free?
Yes.
You were not taking anything?
Yes. And then from there, I wrote a letter to OC Children's Home that I wanted to do something, you know, so I asked if I can stay there sometimes. So sometimes I stay there, sometimes I go home and come.
Right.
And I volunteered at OC Children's Home for almost a year.
Okay.
I go and come. And then I got a letter from OC Children's Home to Tamale Children's Home in Yohini, in Tamale.
Right.
And I volunteered there for a year. And so during my volunteer work in Tamale, I actually, when you go there, at that time they called me my Ghanaian name, Chakwo. So when you go there and say Chakwo, they all know because I did their first borehole for them.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yes. So that's how I started. Then after all the other volunteers I worked with, there was no Ghanaian volunteer. So they were all like, you're very good with the children, why don't you start?
Okay.
I was like, well, I don't know. So I waited a bit. I did a bit of, I did early childhood education.
Okay.
And then I went to do radio broadcasting.
Right.
You know, and so after, then I was like, okay, I think I want to try this. So my grandmom had a house at Malam.
Okay.
And it was closer to the stone quarry. Children were there with their parents breaking stones. So I'll go to them, ask them why the children are not in school. And they'll say, well, there's no money to send them to school. I'm like, if I have a school which is free, will they come?
Yeah.
It was difficult initially to get them.
Really?
Yes.
For the free?
Yes.
Free education
because they were helping their parents.
Oh, okay. So the parents expected them to help rather than go to school.
Yes.
Go to school, right?
So it was difficult, but then gradually, I started getting children to come.
Okay.
So when my friends actually said, I told my friends what I wanted to start, so they helped me. I registered. I did all that I had to do. Got chairs, tables, and little things I can start with. Then I started. I actually started with my uncle who was doing classes at that place, and then I said, well, we could do it for free. Let's just do this thing. So that's how I started.
Okay.
You know, and I was there for 5 years, and then I left to another place where someone offered that I could use the place. So that's what I use up till now.
You know, the Ghanaian youth will actually now will actually want to start big, and they want to start earning money,
Yeah.
or whatever they put themselves into, they want to make money out of. And you started without thinking about money. So how were you making money when you started? Apart from your parents, stipends that they gave you, how were you making money?
I actually learned how to make beats.
Okay.
Yes. So I watched a friend doing it, and then I started to also make it. So I made it, and then I sell. And then that's how I raised a bit of funds.
Look, I'm trying to understand what propelled you, what pushed you, because these kids are not your kids. They're not your parents' kids. They're not your family. They're not your relatives.
No.
And I can put my top CD on it that a lot of them go through your hands and you never see them again.
Yeah.
Not for any reason. I mean, they don't owe you anything.
Yes.
They were sitting somewhere and you said you wanted to. Why? What did you feel that why did you feel the need to do something like that? That you had to put in your own money, even work on the side to fuel it without making money off it? I wouldn't do that.
I guess I would always say, people ask me, I'm like, well, I guess it's just a calling. I think it's just a calling. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have to do, So I just do it. Sometimes I ask myself, how are you doing it? Like, are you really doing this? But I'm doing it. So I don't. Sometimes people ask me, I'm like, I'm just doing what I want to do, and I'm happy doing it.
This is a clear example of somebody following her heart, and really, I think you're an angel. That's all I can say. And there's a story about where you, for how many years hadn't you increased the school fees, and then you tried to increase it by just a little amount, and you got a bashing from the parents.
For 15 years.
For 15
I've actually
years,
been never increased.
In fact, you started from free, and because you had to get learning materials, they paid something small.
Something small.
So moving the fees from 20
CDs to 40
CDs after 15 years.
Yes.
You got a bashing from. How did you feel when you got a bashing from the parents?
I initially I was like, no, what's happening? You people should be very grateful, because if you go to other schools, you don't. No, there's no school that takes 40 Ghana, and you have good education, and you have books, you have pencils, you have everything you need.
Yeah, you feed them, you give them breakfast.
Yes, we give them breakfast.
Just to motivate them to come to school.
Yes, and
You're actually begging people to come to school.
Yes.
And they backlash you for that.
Yes.
And you also spoke about some of the kids. You just run your school from preschool
to stage 6.
Stage 6.
Yes.
So those who are moving on to JHS, you actually support them.
Yeah, we solicit for funds, and then we get them through school. So what we do is we get people to help with their feeding, with their uniforms, with their books, with their everything,
right.
So that's what we do. So the parents don't have to really do anything. All you have to do is make sure the child is in school and the child is learning. Because if someone is supporting your child, then the child should give good results.
Yeah.
So the person can support. So we do all this, we give them everything, and it's paid, it's a year. Right. So if somebody is helping for the whole year, for the whole 1 year, the child is supported 2 years. So that's what we do.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, look, I didn't mean to, broadcast this and solicit for funds. But if anybody out there really wants to support this foundation, I think you should just do it. It's Lila's Childcare Foundation. If you really want to support, you can get in touch with me, and we'll see how best you can help. Because really, when an angel is doing something, if anybody wants to support, definitely I'll get the person in touch with you so that you can keep on doing the good work, because you're doing something that a lot of us can't do. So if we can help in a very small way, we would help.
Thank you, and you're already helping.
Yes, but we really have to appreciate you.
Thank you.
Anyway, I don't know how Ghana has not awarded you already, but I'm sure some awards are coming your way very soon.
I was part of the MTN Heroes of Change, the
Right.
very first one. So I got a citation and a medal for that. Yes.
You'll be nominated again, and this time you win the grand prize.
Thank you.
Because that recognition alone, propels you and gives you some mileage, and then people really see the good work that you're doing.
Right.
Even though you're not doing it for the accolades. But then these days you're championing another cause. Apart from minding your children, you're championing another cause in the direction of morals and values and how declining they are being. I mean, tell me a bit more about that.
Well, you remember when we were children, when you see an old woman or an old man going and carrying something, you would help the person. But now we don't have that.
Right.
You can't talk to someone's child if the person is wrong. You can't do it. You can't chide a child in the right way.
Yeah.
You can't. And children just do whatever they want to do.
Right.
And I think that we should get our morals back, and our values back, because ours is the best. So I'm trying to talk to people and talk to schools and go to various institutions and speak to them about our values and morals coming back. Yes.
And what feedback have you been getting so far?
Oh, it's been good.
Okay.
It's been good. I think a lot of people wanted,
Right.
so I'm trying to work on it and start something.
I think we know the right things to do. It's just
We just don't do
we
it.
just don't do it, and
Yes.
we're not willing
We
to
just
do it.
don't
But
do
you're
it.
doing
But we
doing some
will,
good work in that
gradually,
direction. Yes.
because most of the children didn't know some of these things.
Okay.
Because it's gone.
So yes, I believe that little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So as you're working on these values and morals that are going down, declining, we will try as much as possible to support in our own small way too. And also parents need to speak to their children. Parents, I think we need to sensitize our children and make them know some of the values that we had. Yes, it's true that we want our children to have the best, we want them to enjoy themselves in whatever they do. But then if we give them all the good things in life and fail to give them morals that will help them to succeed in life and do the things that we have been able to do, or even do better than we have been able to do, then we give them the good things, but then we give them in a void, and nothing really happens with that. Lila Djaba is with us on Nii Kpakpo Unplugged, and we'll be right back after this break to play Unravel. You ready for the game?
I am.
Well, keep it unplugged. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So I'm ready right now for Unravel, and I'm sure Lila is ready for Unravel. Lila, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready, right?
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
so let's go. Who is the first boy you ever kissed? What's the name of the first boy you ever kissed?
Don't you remember?
Don't I remember? Do I know him?
You don't know him?
No.
You should remember our first kiss.
Hey, me.
Yes.
Emale. All right. Who would you trade places with for a day?
I would have with the Kofi Annan if he was alive, because I could have done a lot of things in his position.
Right. Kofi Annan. That's a good one. That's a good one. And well, which is the biggest risk you ever took?
Going to the north, not knowing anybody, going to volunteer with nothing. That was a risk.
Yeah, and it's far from home.
Yes, far from home.
Yeah. What's the weirdest piece of advice you ever had?
Why are you doing this? You should have a house and a car, you should have everything, and you're taking care of these children. Why would you do that?
Yeah, that's someone trying to do something that you cannot do, and then you're pushing the person to say, well, that's weird. What do you wish you were better at?
I wish I was better at what I do. Wish I had done more.
Right. But you're doing more already.
Yes.
You're doing more with
But
the limitations that you have, with the lack of funding and all that. But hey, you're doing more already. So yeah,
Thank you.
You're doing more already. So what is that something that people don't know about you?
That I love to act.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You love to?
Yeah.
But you can't make the time to, because you have so many kids to look after.
Take care of, yes.
All right. What is the superpower that you would wish to have?
My superpower
Yeah.
would be to have like so much.
So much, so you can
So
give so
much.
much to the kids,
So
right?
much.
Right.
Yes.
What's the strangest job you ever had?
The only job I ever had was
What you're doing?
volunteering.
Okay, so if you could speak to an animal, which animal would you like to speak to?
An ant.
An ant. Why?
Because you know the ants, they have a lot of things they teach us. When it's time for them to, they don't have, the little they have, they store it. And then when it's time, they just bring it out little by little.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go to the ants
Go to the
and learn
ants,
the wise
yeah.
ways of the ants. That's a good one. What annoys you?
People say I don't get angry, but I do.
And it annoys you that they say you don't get angry.
Yes, and it annoys me because when people say, what are you doing? You know, with what I'm doing, when people start complaining,
Yeah.
that's annoying. Really annoying.
All right. That's Lila Djaba, founder of Lila's Childcare Foundation. Thank you so much for coming through.
You're welcome. Thank you for
It was a
making
pleasure having you.
Yes, thank you
And
for
I'm
this
sure you-
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you come back again.
I will.
We'll talk about more things, more
I
children,
will.
and more accomplishments.
Right.
Well, it's been a great time here with Lila Djaba, founder of Lila's Childcare Foundation. And if you want to help in any way, we have the details on the screen right now, so you can get in touch with them and give your support if you want to. It's been a great time here with you on Nii Kpakpo Unplugged. I'm sure I've made you happy this evening. Make a date with me same time next week and keep it unplugged. And make sure that you find me on social media at the Pacosin. Let's have fun.